Okay, so in the first video on the coaster, I showed you how to set this up to cut out the edge of the coaster and then cut out the letter. In this one, I want to show you, let's say you just want to etch a letter on top of there. So it'll be the same process to set up the outside border, and then we're just going to put a piece of text in the center here. So I'm going to start a new document here, and I'm going to start this one as just a 4x4 document to begin with. RGB color, and we'll hit OK on that. And I'll go through again. Depending on the version, you may have your options here. You may need to go into layout, and then you can go to page setup or right to background color. This is not necessary, but I like to see the background color. It just helps me when I'm designing. And we're not printing or exporting background color, so that should be unchecked. So it just helps separate that from the background itself. So the first step is to put in the rectangle that you're going to cut out. So I'm going to draw in, and I'm snapping to the grid there. If that's not set up, you can go up here and snap to your document grid. You can also set that up in your page setup page, like we did in the last one. We can go through and go to grid, and we can snap to that grid. I have this set to 1/4 inch on this one. I'm going to go to up here, and I have the, so if you've deselected it, I'd go back and I'd select the, and let me just delete this little bit right there. I would select that shape that I just drew, and I'm going to go for a rounded corner, and then I'm going to increase the corner size. I'm just going to type this in as 0.25. So I've rounded those corners, just makes it a little bit nicer. Then I'm ready to put in a piece of text. So like I did in the last one, I will just draw this in. I'm going to do uppercase H and then pick a font, and I'm going to use Varsity for this one. And then I'll make that a little bit larger, so let's say 100 points. So there's my piece of text. Right now the text box doesn't really center very nicely, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and convert this text to curves. So right now it's an object, it's no longer a text, so I can't change the letter, but this does allow me to perfectly center it and scale it up. So at this point I can make it as large as I want. So let's say I want an H that's about that size. And then with it selected, I'm going to say, so this is a 4x4 square, I'm going to say I want this centered at 2x2, and then this is ready to go. I have this in black. If you have it in a different color, you'd want to change that up, but we're going to raster cut this in black. And then this I already had set, so selecting this, I can see my weight is hairline. If you have this set to something other than hairline, it will not cut through, so it's important that set to hairline. It does not need to be set to red. It could just be, if I right click, I can set that to black, and when you go in, it will do a combined job. So if I went in and printed this to the epilogue laser there, and I went into preferences, I can just do a combined job, and it will recognize, because that's hairline, that's going to cut all the way through, and then I'll set both those vectors up there. So that's it on this video. Next one, we'll talk about adding an image in.